I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to share knowledge. And you natives, you love saying you're supposed to respect elders, but then you find stuff like this and you say all kinds of things. I have worked all my life to learn this stuff. I've gone and done ceremonies. I've studied with Crees. I've studied with Sioux. I've studied with Mohawk. I've studied with a lot of different tribes and Indians, and they've taught me things. I have done sun dances. I have been to a lot of different ceremonies. I knew a lot of medicine men that are not here on this planet anymore. They're on the other side camp. Some of them are my guides and that. They gave me knowledge in that. Some of them visit me sometimes from the other side. And I'm only here trying to help the world. If you want, also you can go look up Arvo Looking Horses, all of his videos, and how he says we're supposed to share with the world all this knowledge natives have. He talks about the chanupa, he talks about all the different ceremonies. He wears his big headdress and smudges and has eagle feathers and pipes and everything on his videos and everything, and he talks about how the natives are supposed to help save the world. So if there's something there that doesn't resonate with you, I would like you to please do a video and then share it with me. Tell me where your knowledge came from, what your tribe is, who you are, identify yourself. Other than that, I'm going to go on doing this. The Creator put me on this earth to do these things. And like I say, we're supposed to give to the world. Everything was given to us by Creator. It's not ours to decide who it belongs to or how it's taught or where it's taught or why it's taught. The Tibetans have given us their knowledge. The other cultures around the world has given us their knowledge. We go to a lot of other tribes. Some Cree Indians will go see Sioux Indians, will go see some other tribes will come to BC, and they won't tell anybody when they go back home. They pretend they don't go to medicine people and ceremonies. So it's like, what do you want to do with the knowledge? It's not doing you any good. I look at all the people on the reserve, I'm like, how come this is not healing and changing them? I have been in residential school. So really, I'm not a colonizer. My granddad was in residential school. My mother was in residential school. Lots of my relatives have been in residential school. Some of them are not on this earth anymore. But I just sit here each week wanting to help people who are really willing, and I try to share things. And today we call this again
More Than Words.
More Than Words. We like saying things. We like, we hear people like they'll say namaste. And you'll ask a young person, well, what did you just say? And they're like, I don't know. So why are you going around going like this saying namaste? Because they went into one yoga studio and everybody did that. Now they're running around everywhere just going, namaste. I'm like, there's a meaning, there's a purpose behind it. It's not new age. It's very, very old age. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. It's a cultural thing. And it's a very, very ancient word that recognizes that light which is God inside of every being, every plant, every tree, every rock, whatever was created has a light in it. That is the namaste. And when you say that means I am honoring your light the way I honor my light. So if I'm not going to do bad things to you, to myself, then I shouldn't do it to you. So if I say namaste, then I'm honoring your light the way I would honor mine. I will not do anything to harm you. And that's a greeting, not saying we're only doing good things for one another. And a lot of people don't understand this. And yet they'll go around and do these things. And that's where it's like we need to think about what we're saying and doing. It's easy to learn, it's easy to incorporate, it's easy to buy rocks, it's easy to buy new age stuff like this.
My new age lighter.
And it's like doing something. And this world is very, very confusing. Whenever you're coming to an end of a certain epoch or age or whatever it is you want to call it, there's lots of confusion, there's lots of destruction, there's lots of superstition, there's lots of fears, and everybody is fighting one another. And we all forget we're just human beings created by one creator. It's got many, many names. Like you think of the creator, I always say the many-faced creator. Because when I sit in the church, they see him as one way. When I go and sit in the nature with the natives, we see him another way. If I go to Tibet, then I see him as Buddha in that way. If I go to India, I see him as Kali and Shiva, or I see him as whoever. Whatever god or temple you go into, there's a face that's defined as God. And if you go around the world, there are thousands of gods. There's thousands of beliefs. But it all came from one source, the Creator, the great mystery. So when we go in these temples and we do these things, do we understand what we're doing? Are we understanding why we're chanting? I loved when I went to Kusho's temple in Edmonton, and I would go there on Sundays and Wednesdays, and we would do meditations. And there would be a beginner's class, and then there would be for people who are really advanced in meditation. I like going to the beginner's class because I love seeing people coming and learning new. And sometimes they want to sit and talk with me, and I get to share a little bit of knowledge and try to help them to break down some of the confusions about what people might have said or tried to teach them. And sometimes they don't really know like what kind of protocols, what they can do, what they can't do. And sometimes I'm like, you have a really, really good question here. If you get an opportunity, ask Kusho if you can sit with him and allow him to enlighten and open you up to helping you understand that. And then I would go into the advanced classes. And in there's always somebody asking you, because they always want to know things. Well, when you meditate, what do you see or what goes on? A lot of people want to know things about me or want to understand things. So we sit and talk about stuff. But I'm always willing to learn. And when I don't understand something, I'll go up to Kusho and I'll ask him to help me understand why we're chanting this, why we're doing this, what is all of these different things about. And he'll sit with me and he'll tell me, you see those books, if you want to take one home, this is what it's on. You take it home, read it, and then when you come back, we'll sit and talk more about it. And I would come in and out of the city, because I lived about 2 hours outside of the city. So whenever I had an opportunity, if I got into town, and it was one of the meditating nights, I was so happy I would go there. And meditation ends at 9 o'clock, and then I drive home and get home like 11 o'clock at night. But this was something I would do, and I always think about things. If he taught me something or I learned something in there, I would think about it. So the next time I go there, I would have some understanding, and if I didn't understand it correctly, I would approach him again, saying, well, I don't fully understand this. Is there some way I can learn more about it? So when you think about all the words you say, because I was doing a video with Mercedes there, and we grow up as little children and we say, I love you. And Mom goes, I love you too. And you go, I love you, Mommy. I love you too. And the child doesn't understand what he's saying. He's just mimicking. Daddy does this to Mommy. Mommy's got kiss, 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 kiss. Ooh, everybody's happy. But have you sat the kid down and said, do you really understand what you're saying? Then you get older, you're a teenager, and you go, oh, look at that guy. Ooh, or look at that girl. Ooh, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Meanwhile, Mom and Dad are divorced.
And you know, when you get married, you use this reference, but have you really deeply sat down and thought about what you're saying? Like, what is the words really deeply in you? What's the energy? What is the truth? What is up here? It's like, what is this trying to do? And so this is where, like I say, we think. Because it's so easy to say and do things. It's so easy to go somewhere and they teach you all these things. And you learn their protocols and you just join in and you do this and you do that. And then you go off and you go back about your life. Next time you go there, you just put on the clown suit, you know. You just start doing all the protocols, and everybody, you know, honks their nose. You know, you're doing good. You know, a little more makeup on me. So trying to understand what you're actually saying. When I sit here and I talk, I try to bring through a message. I try to bring through something. In my prayer, that prayer is so deep. Even sometimes I get lost in it when I'm praying it. And I'm saying the words, but my mind is going way out there. And sometimes it gets even bigger, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so big, and I'm trying to remember the words to keep myself here because I'm way out there doing something, and I'm like, what are these words? And it's like, oh, get back here, make sure you're here, ground, you're doing something.
You're leading us all.
Come back.
And it's really, really neat because some of you are sitting out there and you're listening to me, and you close your eyes and you allow me to start expressing this, and you're letting those words say something. You're allowing that energy to come in. You're trusting God and the angels, and you're realizing how all these things are intelligent and how they're expressed in so big, and how you carry that. And like I say, sometimes a prayer seems really, really long. But when I do it, sometimes it's like, man, it was like in 2 minutes, but I know it's been really long. And I'm like, I got to shorten it up. I got to speed it up. And then the spirits are like, no, you got to do this. And so I just keep trying to flow in it, and sometimes I pick up things and people don't fully understand, so I'll try to break it down as fast as I can and carry on with the prayer. But it becomes a part of you. It starts becoming a part of your conscious, your subconscious. It starts, even your cells start realizing, even your bones, your organs, your aura, your chakras. That awareness starts becoming so strong that actually there's an energy that fills you. You can feel it expanding. Like when you call in the great mystery, the creator, God, source, whatever it is, the central sun. That is a power that sustains all things since the beginning of time. And we like using words. We like throwing around words. You know, it's like throwing dice. You know, you want to get snake's eyes, you keep throwing the dice till you get snake's eyes. And sometimes we use words. Some people are wordsmiths, are really good at it. You know, razzle dazzle you, man. They can just snap them off, just like, ooh, ooh.
All razzle, no dazzle.
Yeah, and so this is where it's so, so amazing how powerful our minds are, how big and how ancient. To think you have all God's knowledge. You got hundreds of thousands of lifetimes stored in here, in your body, in your cells, in your chakras, your auras, and all kinds of things. And we don't think about it, we don't recognize it. Like while we were sitting on the dock today out on the water, and I was looking out all the weeping willow and the different trees and the different birds and swans swimming in the water. And I was looking up on the mountain, and it was snowing up on top of the mountain. You can see this white snow coming down. And then you look over here, and it's just bright and sunny, and the water's ripping along on the lake. And you realize Earth Mother is coming to life. And soon the trees are going to birth life into the world. Soon the geese are going to bring in the young ones, and the ducks and the birds, and there's going to be even more. We've seen these beautiful little yellow flowers growing on the rocks and that, and I'm like, look, buttercups. And I was looking around to see if maybe we'd spot a crocus or some other kind of thing pushing up from the ground. And it's just so amazing, like even to smell that those certain odors that start coming off the ground and the vegetation and that. And how we express this in words, and sometimes we can't think of the right words to really say something really, really big. So more than words is, and I didn't think about it till Mercedes said, yeah, I remember the song. More than words. Okay, yeah. Now later I think the song will play in my head. And this is the beauty of it is you realize, because if you sit with yourself and you analyze these things and you realize there's so much in here. How much have you learned in your life? How many books have you read? How many people have you talked? How many places have you gone? Have you ever really went through the whole library in your mind to really, really understand all this knowledge, and there's somebody out there one day is looking for you and you're carrying something in your one of those big filing cabinets and all these different files, and you pull up and you go, ooh, so it was you I read. Okay, here, I gotta give you this. You know? And it's so amazing. Because there's times I'm sitting there and I'll talk to Mercedes or I'll talk to Cindy and I'll start talking, and as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, I forgot I knew this. I'm like, oh yeah, I do know. And I'm like really talking, and I'm like, why did I forget this? Like, where did I store that up here? And it's really amazing because they try to analyze the human mind. They try to figure where all knowledge is. If you really, really understand, the human mind is a computer. It has two energy things that go up to two balls here that are sort of like, what do they call those things when you go from your computer to this one and then you go into the wide, those little...
Modems?
Yeah, like it's two modems here. On the right side, it accesses certain knowledge. On the left side, it accesses certain knowledge. So when you're thinking and you want knowledge, you trigger one of these modems. If you want certain kinds of things, well, it's going to come from this one. And if you want certain kinds of spiritual things, it'll come from the other one. And one is like human logic and that, well, I'm going to drive my car. So you trigger this one so you can operate the car. But you're going into say, a meditation and a spiritual group, well, you're triggering the other one to give you access to an experience. So you got these two modems going boom, boom. Which one do you want to use? Once you activate this, it goes up to another one, and there's a bigger energy above that one. And it starts streaming energy and knowledge down into you. And it goes through this computer you call your brain. And then you bring it up and do whatever you're going to do. But sometimes you go here and you go here, and you're like, but I know I have this knowledge. Sometimes you have to sit for a while. And finally, this one goes ding, 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 and then all of a sudden everything starts coming through. And you're like, but where was that knowledge? Why couldn't I remember? Why couldn't I access it? And sometimes we have to be patient and allow that, because, like I say, there are different processes. And sometimes we forget we're in an instant world. We want everything so fast. But there are certain ways things go. And even talking and speaking and that, there's certain times and frames with expressions and things, how you can share with a person, how your thoughts come together. To give a person a movie in their mind, or help them to access knowledge, or put pieces of puzzles together, other kinds of things. There's many different little things going on. And then there's also many ancestors and that scurrying around. It's like, we got to make sure all of this is happening.
Scurrying.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
And then when we heal things, some of them are there. They clean house. They take things and they get rid of it. We don't need it anymore, so they'll place it somewhere. And it'll be on a shelf. And sometimes you got to go, oh, I have things hidden on a shelf. I need to go and look. It's like you go into your little pantry, right? You got all your jars with labels. Oh, sweet peaches. Yeah, I put that there 3 years ago. Better eat it before I have to throw it out. And you got to dig around. It's like, ooh, what's in here? And you forget what you have in there sometimes. So we have little shelves too where we store things. One of the things I learned with one elder one time is sometimes we have really difficult things we're trying to heal. And we're not quite ready. People try to push us and stuff. And he says, if it's not healing, put it in a little ball of light and energy. Tell the Creator, you want to put it on a shelf over here. And you're going to bring it back here. You're going to sit with it for a while. If you're ready to heal, it's going to heal. If not, you'll put it in a little loving ball of energy and you'll stick it back over here again. And you can visit it off and on. It doesn't have to create emotions. It doesn't have to destroy and devastate you. It doesn't have to create stories and do all kinds of stuff. And the universe is very intelligent. They know when and how to give you that knowledge. And where somebody is going to show up holding that right energy, because maybe they've just experienced something and they're going to share you a story, and then all of a sudden Here it is. You got the answer. Poof. You've dealt with it. You're always going to remember it. You're not erasing your mind. You're not erasing your life. Your cells remember everything. If you sat in the mall 10 years ago and you were sitting there having a coffee on a Saturday and it was December 25th and you're just sitting there, your cells have all the memory of that whole day of what was going on. It's like you haven't forgotten anything, but maybe up here you might think you do. And I like that. I like reflecting on thoughts. I like reflecting on what the elders have taught me. I like going in my mind and sitting with Kusho in some of his teachings, or one of my friends, his name's Amchi Kunga, he's a Tibetan medicine man, and he's revealed things to me. And when he told me some things, I'm like, oh, okay. Because I understand with them, they use the astrology chart. When they're going to do healings and that with you, they see everything. And they look at your chart and that, and they can give you answers and help you in different ways. But he does a lot of praying in that to be able to channel the right information, the right things to help you to understand. And it's quite interesting. Is there anything anyone want to share here?
There's quite a few. I think you may have answered it. The one was like, how do you quiet your mind? Do you have a suggestion for people to like retrieve those answers?
If you really want them, they are going to come, but people push it. Like, we're in a world with yoga and everything, and people are going to tell you, oh, you have to do this. And they figure it's instantaneous. It's not. It's like at the weirdest time it's going to pop into your mind. At the weirdest time things are going to go on. And a lot of times you're going to be sitting there, maybe you're watching TV, and then all of a sudden there's the answer in your mind. All of a sudden you're watching it play out in your mind, even though you're staring at the TV. And the universe knows when you need it. And one of the biggest things I've learned is to talk to my child spirit, my oversoul, this ancient, intelligent child of God that is a wizard, that is God, that is a genius. And I'm like, I want these answers. I'm at this age. I don't want to run away from this. I don't want to repeat this. I don't want to do all these things anymore. So wherever we hid this, whatever went on, I want to bring that through. And if I have to visit 100 times, I'm going to visit 100 times. But I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. I'm not going to sit there and get mad about it. It's like, it's the past. It's over. It's like, am I going to carry this and am I going to invite that back in again? Am I done with this? Am I stop lying to myself and everybody and everything around? Or am I going to change this and I'm going to step forwards and I'm going to create new? The child spirit knows it's trying to protect you. It does not want to harm you. And a lot of these healers and other people, they'll force you there. They don't know if you're ready. They don't know what's going on in your mind and your life. And this is where, in the natives, we say in a kind and gentle way. Like with me, I get my angels. I'm like, okay, there's lots going on here. I need answers and help, and I want it done in a kind and gentle way. I was telling Cindy, like, I got millions of scars. I got so many hurts and bad things from throughout my life. And what people have done to me, and they just carry it in my mind. People look at me and they're like, oh, look at him, he's sober, he's an Indian, he's this and that. But they don't see the scars, they don't see the trauma, they don't see the hurt, they don't see what brings up my fears and challenges me in my daily life. But it's there inside me. And my child spirit doesn't want to hurt me because it knows how bad I've been hurt.
Rachel Gemini Mama is wondering, does Joe think that inner child work is necessary, and what's the best way to approach it?
I don't call it inner child work. They like putting labels. Like New Age has found some of the best razzle-dazzles, man. They just fire it out there like machine gun bolts. And I'm like, no, it's spiritual. It's your soul. And your soul loves you. But people want to be mad at their experiences. And most people have a problem And I don't like voicing this, but a lot of people have been abused or raped. And when you use a rape, it's like, oh, you can't use that word. I don't know if I have a right to say this on TikTok. I don't know if it's going to get me X-nayed or whatever.
You can say grape.
Okay.
Or
So-
essayed. Essayed.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Though I've been through terrible experiences, but I'm here today. Am I ashamed of it? When I was a little boy in residential school and I couldn't protect myself from the minister? No. I can look at it, I can tell all of you guys about it. But I'm not going to sit here and cry. That person is not here anymore. And I could be as ugly as I want or say I'm undeserving and unloving. So I'm going to keep on finding people to do that to me, or I'm just going to go around and attack everybody on the planet because of that. That's not healing. That's not helping. And I'm going to keep attracting that if that's what I do. I'm done with that. Up until I was about 40 years old, I had so much anger. And I'm really, really happy I didn't meet Cindy or Mercedes then, because they would have thought I was one of the darkest snakes with some of my anger. And there were times where I didn't think I even deserved to live. And I was really, really hard on myself. And I realized that's not it. That's where I found in the Bible, God says, you are born as pure as snow. Your brain has been scarred or made to believe things. And your child spirit understands what's going to heal you, understands what person to bring in your life, understands when you need to allow this up. But have you beaten yourself up enough for that? Oh, I have. I have pounded myself from here to the moon and back 100 million times. I have scarred myself. I even went places trying to get myself killed because I was so ugly because as a little child somebody did something to me. I don't think that way anymore. I'm like, I survived that. I survived drugs, I survived booze, I survived all kinds of crazy things. And I'm very proud of myself. And I'm not ashamed of any of it. I can tell anybody anything I goddamn want. And I ain't gonna sit here and cry about it. God has seen it. God helped me to create it. Or any person that came into my life would never hurt me unless I manifested it. A lot of boys and a lot of girls, when they're 10, 11, 12, they hear about this kind of dysfunctional things happening to them and they start fantasizing. They fantasize and they attract all kinds of men and women to abuse them. They blame all kinds of other people for something they created. Because the universe heard this, because it was their fantasy. And all these people showed up and did these things to them. God thought, this is what you want. Because what you're vibrating out there, that's what the universe is responding to. And there's thousands of people out there going, woo, and then you show up and they're like, whoa. Did you manifest it? Or you're just blaming that person? Or is it past life karma? That's like, where are you going to go inside and make peace with it? I don't want to fight with that anymore. I've done that for 60 years of my life.
You do suggest for people to look at the strengths.
And that's one of the things I always say, look back in the past. All the things, all the strengths you got. It's like I told my mother, I said, hey Mom, look at how beautiful, look at how amazing. I says, you brought all of us children into the world. I says, we grew up in a very, very dysfunctional environment. I says, but look at all your children. We're all successful. We're all different. Look at me, I don't drink anymore. I do all these things. I have my own business. I go around and I help people. And I really don't want people that want to attract abuse into their life. I want people like that out of my life. I've been praying that for a year. And by January, I will close doors to all of that. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I don't like seeing people's souls destroyed. And if that's where they want to live and be, that's for them to go and create. But I want to be in other people's lives that are working on moving to the future, and they don't need to play those games anymore. And this is where I allow things into my life. I get to choose what is there and not there. And that's why I like looking into the future and seeing things. And that way I get to make the choice if I'm going to open a door and let somebody be there, or I'm going to say sorry, but it's closed and now it's time to move on. But look at your past for your strengths. Because I told my mom, I says, look at your grandchildren. Look at the beautiful lives they have. Look at their children, your great-grandchildren. Man, they're going to have beautiful lives. From where I grew up, in this little tiny community in the Arctic, and all the violence, all the insanity, and all the things we survived. And I'm tired of people telling me, oh, you haven't healed this. Really? Do you really know if that's truth? Because people will tell you that. They'll see something in you. I know lots of people will open up your base chakra and look around in there to see what sexuality, how they can get you to do this and that. There are men and women that go around all day doing that. And they're parasites. You've already been traumatized and hurt, and you're going to play the game and let them do it again. You invited them in. Now, when you get hurt and everything, you can either get mad at them or at yourself for manifesting and creating it. It's your choice. And in the end, you're going to look in the mirror one day and realize you did it all, not anybody else. Because God blessed you to manifest and create everything. And whatever comes into your life, some of it, you were maybe a very negative person in another lifetime. And you harmed people in that. So you came in and you agreed you would let all these people hurt you back. And that's where God says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So if you busted somebody's eye, and in this lifetime you got your eye busted, maybe you did that to that person in another lifetime. Maybe somebody punched you and knocked a tooth right out of your mouth. Well, maybe in another lifetime you hit somebody and their teeth just shattered and flew everywhere. And we were in wars, we were in a lot of things. And some of these things we didn't have to participate in, and we harmed people. So you need to really, really sit with that, because this is where you create karma. And some things you have to forgive and stop and let go. You can't beat it up anymore. And there's some things it's dead, it's finished. And this is where you need to look inside. And you got to ask yourself, have you healed it? Or are you just being angry and mad? Or is it a story you like? Or maybe you're not done with him. Maybe you're still holding on and you want to manifest and create that all over. Traumatize yourself, put yourself through that. Maybe you got to have more shame. You're undeserving. Because when we get abused this way, we go around and we just create this because we're not good enough, we're not beautiful enough, we're not deserving. We don't need good, loving people in our lives, so we're going to create this destructive force so we can go on being ugly, because if we're ugly, then we can go around and destroy and hurt everybody. It gives us a reason to be mean and nasty. And there's a lot of people in jail, Skid Row, and many, many other places. They live that way all the time. They don't want to change. And this is where you think. This is where you realize it's your choice. And you got to look in the mirror and really be honest about it. And this is where, like I say, we can use words, we can use many things, and some things are being said. And I'm like, really sit with yourself. I worked on some things for 40 years. I was so exhausted, and people would tell me, you still haven't finished, you still haven't healed that. And they take out their machine gun and go with their fancy little words and everything. And I'd be just ripped apart and devastated. I'm so ugly. Save me, help me, please. And just do it over and over and over and over. And one day I'm like, when am I going to stop and change it? And so I started turning that around. I started looking at all my survival. Why did I survive? Why am I here today? Why do I go around, do meditations? Why do I do TikTok? Why do I do clearings for people? Why do I hold space? Why do I do all of this? If you're really a healer and energy worker, why are you doing it? This morning I brought up with Cindy, why does anybody want to be a shaman? Do you know how much pain and hurt and things I carry inside because I see everything in people's lives? I see all the things they're going to do. I know everything, whatever they think I know, where it's going to lead them, what it's going to go on. And I just go on smiling and acting like I don't know nothing. And it destroys me inside. But then I love people. God loves people. God's always there supporting us. But we would rather choose and create devastation and destroy people. When people take my love and they trample it into the ground, they don't know how they destroy me. And I've had that done for 60 years. People laugh at me, think it's funny. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not here to prove nothing. All I know is I'm going to step over a line one day and I'm going to be in the future with nothing but loving, beautiful, amazing people. And this world is going to be so beautiful. But some people want the darkness. And I can't stop them from doing that. There are so many people I love out there and I want to visit them. And I pray really hard they change and heal. But I have to keep moving forward because there's somebody out there I need to help. And when I help them, their lives are going to change. And once they change, they're going to change others. It's like Adrian. I met him a little over a year ago. Man, he has come miles in 1 year. He's doing amazing. Mercedes, I met 5 years ago. She's doing amazing. Cindy, she's done amazing things over the years being with me. And sometimes you can't see how big it is. Because when we're inside ourselves, we can't see that. And I don't want to use words to harm people. I don't want to say things. I'd rather take the hurt and walk away. I'd rather close the door and hold loving memories in my mind of them and just carry on down the road. Maybe I will meet them in the future. I don't really know. That's their choice. I thought of somebody that I wanted to be my friend, but I saw right in the beginning that wasn't going to be a reality. And I told the person right in the beginning, I see you going right back. You're going to do this for this many years and then you'll be right back where you are today. But I put all of my love, my energy, everything in. And I still wish that person the best. I'm going to move into the future. Maybe one day I'll turn and I'll go, oh wow, hey, you're here. Isn't that beautiful? If not, maybe in a million years, we'll walk up to one another. We did it.
How do you forgive yourself for your past mistakes, the harm that you may have caused others or yourself?
You go inside and you look at your soul, and you realize your soul is from God. It's an angelic light. You can't hate it. You can't destroy it. But in the moment you were in survival. You didn't have the awareness, you didn't have the knowledge, and you didn't quite understand. You were just reacting. Because there still may be a hurt, there still may be something, and you're just doing this. And now you're further on down the road and you go, oh wow. I visit lots of things. I explained this to Mercedes. I says, there's times that I sit down and I say, hey God, you, hey, you big man, whatever up there, get your ass down here. This is me, Joe Greenland. Call me Sonar, call me Shoni Hombley, whatever you want to call me, it's me. This is the person I am. This is what I did with my mind. When I was here, this person hurt me and I was angry, and this is what I thought and I wished and everything, and I had so much hate. I'm sorry. And if that person's around, I pray and I wish them better things. I want to be blessed and forgiven. So I'm hoping they understand that somewhere they maybe will forgive me. Maybe they never understood that it was me. And I'm asking you to remove and lift all that bad energy away. However I affected them. Transmute it, release it. Somebody made me believe that, I can take this energy. I can do medicine. I can do a spell. I can go over to this allergy. I can pay this person over here and I can hurt these people. I'm responsible for me. It's one day I will face that. And anything that I didn't own up to, I'm going to say, I got to reincarnate. I didn't want to be truthful. And God's going to be going, what did you do? Well, what is this here? Really? You said it was a fart, but no, it looks like you did something wrong to somebody. Why do you think you're hiding that? Do you really know how you destroyed a person's heart or how you destroyed their minds? People don't want that done to them. That's why the law of the universe is do unto others as you will have done to you. And everybody doesn't want their heart destroyed or their mind destroyed or this and that destroyed. So why would you go and do that to another human being? And that's where you learn to really, really sit with yourself. But you are an angelic being. Your soul is pure as light. You don't know if it was karma. You don't know if it was good or bad. But you can talk to God about it. You can talk about all your angels are all around. They're sitting there. You can call them down. They watched you do it. It's not hidden. They all know it. If you think archangels, Michael's your archangel with his big flaming sword, well, maybe he was sitting there watching you do all and thinking, doing all those bad things. So when you start owning that up, you start healing, you start seeing. We all make mistakes. We all go through things. Every one of us was a teenager. Everyone was a hormone factory. Everyone was curious about every kind of sexual thing, orgies, you name it, whatever. We all did it. There's not one human being on this planet that hasn't done something. And as we're going through life, people may trick us in different ways. And it's like, can I just not look at that? Or do I just want to look at it and go, hey, sorry, I made a mistake, but I want to change that. And you'll start finding there's something beautiful inside yourself. You'll start sharing things without shame, without things. You'll be open. Somebody comes along, it's like, if I can see everything in Cindy, I can see everything in Mercedes, they can see everything in me too. I'm like, I'm not hiding anything. I'm an open goddamn book. I got a biggest blabbing mouth and everything. And every angel and thing that's coming around, their angels is like, I don't try to hide anything. And like I say, when you really become a healer, you really become a medicine man. And God brings somebody to you. And you bring that energy through, you heal them. You're just a conduit, you're just a channel. You get blessings, you get all kinds of things. And every person's life that gets changed, because if you change one person's life, that impacts 1,000 people. And God really sees that. And each time you do those good things, you receive more good. But do you want to take that good energy and really go into the future and good, or are you going to take it and create something crazy? Because once you do, you got to clean all of that up again. It's not going to be hidden. Who's responsible? Nobody but you. And like I say, when we get hurt, we all got different scars. We all got different cultures. We all got different kinds of things. And I try to use what I can and sit here and share the best way I can. I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want nobody to have bad dreams tonight. I don't want to bring up all kinds of things in people's memories that they tried to lock, hide, run away, or are ashamed of. I don't like shame. Because shame empowers you. It takes away all your power. Because if you carry that, somebody's going to manipulate you. But if you're angry and you think your anger gives you power to go around and do all kinds of hurtful things, then you really got to look at something there. My friend that manifested rusty hubcaps, when I first met him, 17 years ago, and I was with a group of people and we were doing stuff. And this one person comes over and says, hey, can you come over here and help this guy heal? I'm like, I can't help him heal, but I can be there supporting him. I can be there honest with him. I can be there trying to help him in different ways. And if he really wants to, he's going to heal himself. And I didn't know his name at the time. And we just had gone out for some supper and that, and he just showed up with his partner through this person that I knew. And this person that I knew right next to me wanted to heal him. She wanted to turn him into the Pope or something. And I'm like, he doesn't want to heal. Like, he doesn't. He likes knowledge. He likes this. And so she brings him over. And I'm like, you know already what you need to heal, right? He says, yeah, I know what I need to do. I says, all that anger. I says, you use it and you hurt people. And no, bud. I don't do that, bud. I take that anger and that's what motivates me to get through things, bud. I'm like, no, I see all the hurt you do. And because you don't want to heal that hurt, you go around and you hurt all kinds of women and people. And you say you're using it as a motivator and you're helping people heal, and that you're manipulating and destroying them. They've already had all that hurt. They don't need you pretending to be a healer and medicine man or spiritual and do that to them. It's not what it's all about. And he realized, and over the years I kept bringing it up to him. Like, when are you going to face your anger? And it was his dad and all these things that went on. I'm like, when are you going to deal with it? Stop saying you're using it as a motivator, because there are people around me that can't stand you and they don't want you coming around. They don't want you doing this, and I'm asking you to stop because they have asked me to tell you to stop this. Oh, no, but I don't do that. I'm telling you I don't. I'm like, this is coming right out of this person's mouth right here telling me this. And you're saying, with this person standing beside me, you don't do this when they're just explaining what you did to in about an hour and a half ago? And I'm like, and he'd use words. He knew how to play them. He knew how to do things. And I'm like, you don't do that. And that's where people got to look at things. And this is where I've been telling the universe since December, I don't want to get hurt anymore. And I'm going to shut a lot of doors, and I'm going to move on. And I'm not going to get laughed at. I'm not going to get hurt in that. I've done that for 60 years. I've allowed people to use me as a doormat, a rug, you name it. I've had my face spit in. I've been called every name on the earth. I've been beaten, kicked, pounded, nearly killed, you name it. And I'm still breathing today. And I'm not going out there saying, oh, I'm just going to use my hurt to motivate me so I can go and do all these things. No. Because then I'm just a real liar. And I don't deserve loving good things in my life. I should stick my head in a pillowcase and run down the road and hope to get hit by a dump truck. I already got hit by once in the past. But, like I say, I have to live with me. And I'm okay with that. And I get to share. And hopefully what I'm saying is helping people.
You're helping a lot of people. You're helping 213, 14, 15.
And it's hard to be raw like this. Because sometimes as I'm doing this, memories are popping through. Because many, many times as a child I cried and I asked, why did that happen to me? There are many kinds of monsters. And you never know where to go. Nobody was there to protect you. When all these little kids were taken from their communities and put in this big giant warehouse called a residential school, their parents weren't there. There's nobody protecting us. And there was big monsters in there that can do anything, and they had special little rooms to do what they want. And we were just numbers. We weren't human beings. They said we were heathens and the devil was going to burn us. They didn't care how they destroyed our souls or our minds. Sometimes people think their lives are bad. People don't know what's inside here. And this is where look at yourself. Really look inside. Because the only one who's going to forgive you is you. And when you step on the other side and you face the Creator and all your angels and everything, and you're standing there and you gotta look at your whole, you're gonna do a life review. And everything is gonna get seen. There's not one thing you can say, oh, no, that wasn't me. Like the hubcap master. He's got a lot of lifetimes to reincarnate for stuff. And I only pray well for him. Maybe in 1,000 years, we'll maybe be walking by side, and I'm like, oh, you made it. Isn't that really cool? If not, he's got lots of other lifetimes and journeys and things. So I think he has taught many people. I know Cindy has learned a lot. I know even Mercedes from the few experiences.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that today. How whenever I'd come around him, my energy would just go boom, and I would be so filled with energy. And it was just I don't know what was going on, but it was awesome. I never felt scared or threatened around him.
And that's like Cindy. Whenever she went around him, she just was herself. And it was so amazing. She would channel and say things. And he would be so scared of her and he'd pretend not to be. And he was very careful with the words he said to her because he was really, really afraid of me. And I'm like, Cindy can take care of herself. It's like, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to go and come and bite your head off like I'm some raging bull or something like that. I got to chew your head off or something. And I'm like, if you want to be a healer, be a healer. And that's where you honor things. Because it's about honoring your soul. Because God, I always try to say, okay, look at a big giant field. Say there's 100 acres there. And it's just covered in flowers. Any kind and every kind of flower. Can you think of 100 acres with every beautiful kind? Just flowers beyond belief. And God says, oh, I think I'm going to go look for you. And there's only one orchid in amongst all that 100 acres of flowers. And God looks down and just sees that one amazing, beautiful orchid. When God looks down on this earth and he sees each one of our souls, all he sees is the beauty that he created. He doesn't see the scars in the mind or the body. The soul is pure. And it's like, look inside of yourself. We all make mistakes. You still have all the opportunities to heal, change, and fix that. Or you can just create more things. And this is where I just keep trying to focus on the future. Keep asking, well, how do I do this? Where do I do this? When do I do this? And it was really, really neat yesterday. Adrian wanted to do a little bit of his energy work, and I really appreciate that. And he allowed his guides and spirits to come in, and he plugged in. He shared what he was being shown and guided. And then he saw these three beings, golden ones. He's like, oh, there's there's three golden guys coming. It's like, I never saw this before. It's like, weird, these three golden guys. And I went, oh, the Ancients of Days. And he asked them, they're like, yep, that's who they were. And they came in and they did all this stuff. And he did whatever he did. And before they left, they said, we're really thankful, Joe, for allowing this in. For Adrian to experience and have this connection. And while he was doing energy work on me, I was talking to his angels, his guides. I was talking to all kinds of beings to help him to really have big dreams so he can see his future, so his gifts can get more, so he can have a life, so he can heal him and his wife, and so he can have clients and all kinds of things. And I prayed and I asked him to be blessed in all kinds of ways for doing this for me. And the energy was really, really amazing because we sat out by the fire afterwards. We sat around the fire. And me and Cindy, and then Cindy came in, and Mercedes was there, and we just sat and we were burning things and talking. And then finally I'm like, I think I need to go in. So I came in, and there was just this beautiful, amazing energy, and I was just like, wow, I'm so thankful. And I just sent a thankful prayer to Adrian for doing that. Then this morning I got up on my phone and sent him another thank you. And we chatted a little bit today, and I says, well, see you today on the live. So Adrian is there. I don't know if he has a site or anything that people, if you guys are interested or anything, maybe you want to give him a donation to see if he can tune in and plug in and maybe do a little bit of energy or something for you. But if you want to put a handle out there, Adrian, for people to connect, is there something there?
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
And there's a link in his bio, I believe, to
Okay.
get connected with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Adrian, say hi again.
Yeah. And anybody you want to connect with him, just send him a link on TikTok to.
Mm-hmm. And follow him so he can do lives and stuff too.
Yeah, and this is where we support one another, because the more we do this, the more, like, even get your friends to follow. And like I say, if you do that for one another, you can all start doing lives. You all can start sharing. You all can do videos and TikToks and help one another and stuff like that. And this is where we keep asking for you to all find a way to help Cindy and Mercedes so they can start doing things too. How's everybody out there?
You've had a lot of gifters tonight.
Mhm.
Some specifics, like, wouldn't just stop giving you gifts. So it's a
Yeah.
really nice.
Big thank you for
Big
the
thank you.
gifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge thank you.
Totally. And the gifts is, I like, it's me, Cindy, and Mercedes. It's not mine. So when you gift, you're also gifting to both of them. Because I wouldn't be doing this without them. I wouldn't be doing it all without Mercedes putting out videos, saying, well, let's do a TikTok live. I'm like, really? I'm just going to play. I got a big mouth. I'm going to talk.
I was like, I gotta go cut the grass.
And for a year this has gone on, and Cindy and Mercedes have both supported me. And I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm thankful for all of you. And I really, really appreciate your prayers. I don't often to get to say that I love people, but I really, really love people who have kind thoughts and prayers and things like that, because, like I say, it really, really helps me from a lot of the terrible things I went through in life. And like I say, I didn't have that kind of kindness shown to me as a child. And I'm surprised at the craziness I'm going through to sit here today. And I really want to see a lot of people in the future with me. I really want to see people walk through this purifying times. I really want to see people step up and do their things. But if they don't want to, like I tell God, let them go down their path. Put them in protection. Let them go back to sleep. Shove them out there. Let them go wherever the wind blows them. And maybe one day way in the future we'll meet. Some of them, I still say prayers in my heart for them. I told a story today about more than words. And this is the one that it took me a while to understand. So I was in a relationship with this native woman. I moved from the Arctic out here. In my community, it's like when your aunts or uncles and that would say to you, I love you, the kids would always respond back, me too. Instead of the kids saying, I love you back, in the expressions of those words, they would say, me too, which means I love you, without saying all the words. And the parents would go, oh, and they just feel so good. It's like the child, when the child would say, me too, it's like they would catch that thought and that prayer and that love, and they would just light up really happily. And I grew up, and we grew up this way, where we would express these things. And so I got in this relationship with this lady, and I'm in this relationship. Every now and then she says, oh, I love you. And I'm like, me too. And she'd look at me cross-eyed, and her hair would stand up. Flames would be shooting out her nose, and I'm like, why is she mad at me? And she's like, don't you get what you're saying? I'm like, yeah. I know what I said. And then she'd go, okay. Time would go by, and then all of a sudden, she's telling me she loves me again a couple of days later. I'm like, me too. And I'm like the most affectionate kind of way. Every kind, googly eyes, little hearts flying around. It's like little angels shooting bow and arrows, and you name it, I was putting in when I would say me too. And she would just lose it. Oh my God, she would just be bouncing off the wall and screaming and throwing stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with her? And this is where it's like these words, right? We say it's like more than words. But what I was saying when I said me too was really, I love you. But in my mind, I wasn't comprehending. I wasn't actually saying the words which you wanted to hear. And so I was bringing this just big magical. I'm going to kill you. Don't you realize how conceited, how crazy and sick you are? You love yourself? And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I just thought I said I loved her. And then one day, it was about 3 months, I was sitting there, I was like, God damn, she's going to say this again, and I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want her throwing things at me. And I'm thinking about the words, and I'm like, why does she yell at me? I say this, it's like my heart's wide open, I got Google eyes, I like, oh, like a little cat, meow, please pet me.
I did her that.
And then all of a sudden I went, oh my God. I wasn't telling her back, I love you too. And I just sat there just like, wow, what a dummy. For 3 months you're trying to make me understand. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong? Why are you doing this? It just drove me nuts, but it was me who was doing it because in my mind, if I was back home and my aunt came by or somebody that I knew and they said, oh, I love you, and I'd just say, me too, and they would just smile, they just light up, right? But like I say, what we said here didn't actually make any sense over here, but my brain was still stuck in the past. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta say certain kinds of words, I gotta express things.
When you were telling this story, every woman on this live knew exactly what you did wrong.
Yeah. And while I was doing this little video with Mercedes afterwards, you just laughed because, you know, women say, like, Mercedes, what did you say?
Oh yeah, there's this trend where girls will ask their boyfriend, "Would you still love me if I was a worm?"
Yeah.
And the boyfriends are supposed to say, "Yes, absolutely. I would take you, the little worm self, out to the garden. I would feed you."
And you're the most prettiest, beautiful worm on the planet.
But some guys were so stunned.
And
Like,
you're sitting there going, huh?
no,
What?
you'd be a worm.
Yeah, you'd
Why
be a
would I
worm.
love a worm?
I step on worms, like, why? It's like, and here she's trying to just, yeah. So, but that's where words, like I say, in cultures and all kinds of things, you realize words have impact. They have energy. And it's more than words. Like when I came home tonight and I asked Cindy how you're doing, and she's like, wow, I felt the energy. And when I speak to people, when I'm healing, when I'm clearing, when I'm channeling, there's energy. There's more than just what the words I'm saying. Some people are very, very open-minded. Some people are very psychic and gifted, and they see and understand everything. And it really impacts them. It's like even when I do the prayer and I really go into that energy, and as it's coming through, it's more than words because it's God's energy, it's God's angels, it's God's creation, it's your angels, it's your blessings. And I'm just that conduit bringing it on through to help you in whatever way. You know what you need. I don't. Your angels, every one of them know what you need. And this is where I like that this morning, where it's more than words. Because there's something really big inside here, and I've carried it ever since I was a little boy. And when I go in there, all kinds of things happen. And people found me very strange in my community. People were afraid of me because there's an energy that would come off me. And like Mercedes and Cindy, somewhere when they were a child, this energy would come off them. There's this beautiful light inside them. But maybe somebody tried to take it from them. Somebody did something to hurt them. So they put these big cement walls and things over it. And it's really, really hard to open this up and trust God and allow this big energy and truth and everything to come through. And this is where we get to look at that. We get to honor that inside ourselves, or we can destroy that. That's where a lot of people are in prison. They've destroyed that. They tried opening it and they got it trampled on. And the scars they couldn't handle anymore. And that's the truth. I've seen many, many, many beautiful people snap. And they were some of the kindest, loving people there was. And I've seen them destroyed. And people intentionally tried to do that to me throughout my life. And I just move on. And then people are like, how come you don't talk to me? How come you don't do this? It's like, I don't need to come here to be abused. People know I can do things. I can give them knowledge. I can help them in lots of ways. People want to use and manipulate me. They don't care how it hurts or devastates me or anything else. And I'm like, that's okay. The Creator knows. I know I'm going to carry on in the future. I'll survive all of this. I see a lot of things. I know what's meant to be manifested. I know what's meant to be closed. And I always try to stay open right up to the very last second with everything. And in my heart, I never want to hurt anybody. I don't care how badly I've been hurt. I don't care all these things that I've gone through. Nobody needs to go through that. I remember when I was a little boy, in my mind I used to tell God, please, I don't want to be a monster like these people. And I'm glad I can sit here today, sober, trying to learn and grow, trying to pray for healings for my community. There are so many hardships and things some of us saw and went through, but some of us got some of the beautifulest souls and minds. And we want to help, but people just want to trample us into the ground. And that really destroys me when people do that. That's like, you have no right doing that to a person. You wouldn't want it done to you, so why do you think you have that right? And that's where this more than words is what I'm saying is way beyond. There's so much energy, there's so many things behind stuff in my beliefs, in what I try to do. When I channel, when I see things, it's not about hurting, it's about... Today, for a while, I was really lost. It felt like I was on the ghost ship, way out on the ocean by myself. And I was asking God, why am I way out here again? How many times do I have to be out on the ocean in this fog, lost, trying to understand where I belong? How come there's nobody around? When I was a little boy, I had a cousin. And 3 months before he committed suicide, I saw it. And I told my mom. And I went over and I visited him. And I told him what I saw. And I shared it with other people. And I told my mom, I says, he has to come and stay with me. On a Friday, he has to come and stay with me. I want to phone him on a day. And I talked to his mom and his dad, and they're like, yep, he can come and sleep over. And I talked to him. The day came and I phoned him. And I says, can you come over and spend the night? If you spend the night here, for the rest of your life, you can have good things. He said, no. He says, in the morning you can come and play. Just come over, pick me up, we'll go and do this and that. So I got up in the morning, I phoned his place right away and talked to him, and he says, yeah, come on over. And I started walking down the road, and then this eerie feeling came over me, and all I could see is this image in my mind. Next thing I hear the boom. I was not far from his house. And I just stood there, in shock. That's just because I knew what the truth was. A police car went by me, ambulance went by me. And then I came out of it and I ran, screaming, running. And I wanted to run into the house, and the cops stopped me at the bottom of the stairs, and they were bringing this gurney with my cousin's body, and there was no head on top. And I carried that nightmare in my mind for 3 months, trying to stop and change it. And that destroyed me. I was way out on the ocean for about 2 years on a ship by myself in the fog. And people treated me really mean, saying that I did that. People don't know what words and things can do. People don't know when somebody like me sees something. I visit that memory many times. I've never found an answer. But I know it was his journey, and there was nothing I can do about it. For a lot of years I hated myself because I couldn't stop him. I thought of 1,000 different things I could have done. And nobody has the right to harm anybody. I don't believe in armies, I don't believe in things. I don't believe anybody has a right to go to another country to blow up and destroy innocent women and children or anything like that. And anybody that likes that, I think they're insane. And they don't deserve to be in the future. There's many, many other things I keep to myself. And like I say, when I get destroyed inside, I get to live in that. And I carry those things. I have many sad memories. Many, many, many things throughout my life. Friends from residential school and all kinds of stuff that I couldn't handle having any more memories of the abuse I went through. When I was a little kid living on the streets, me and 5 other little kids, we used to take care of one another. And one way we took care of one another is stealing drugs and booze, so we can be numb. So we could sit there in the cold together, freezing, getting drunk, crying, trying to keep one another alive while we were afraid. And whenever we got a chance, we'd sneak into our parents' house and steal food to feed one another. Even rob clothes in the winter to stay warm. But we survived. People called us names, cursed us, threw things at us. People chased us down the street. Nobody cared. We never did anything to hurt anybody. Nobody knows what the scars here. So I try to look for beauty in here. And I try to look for beauty in everybody else and things. And you all deserve to be beautiful. You all deserve to be in the future. And you gotta look inside yourself and you gotta ask yourself why. You can't make nobody change. If you're not gonna change something, don't expect it from somebody else. Don't push somebody into a corner and beat on them. Understand and have compassion. And that's one of the most beautiful things the elders gave to me. Because they saw my life. They saw into my mind. They saw many things. And they never judged me. They would always say, one day you will heal. One day you will help people. One day you will take all of this and do good things. And they would gift me things. They would gift me knowledge. They would show me things. And they'd always talk about the Creator. This is what the Creator wants. This is what the Creator says. My granddad always talked like that. He didn't care if I thought he was right or wrong. And there's so many prophecies that he told me from when I was a young child, over 40 years ago, that I know are still going to come true. And I keep watching for them. And when they happen, I'll say, hey, Gigi, there's another one. When you died when I was 17, here's another thing you told me. I'm 61 years old, and now here this is coming true, just like you told me. He was an amazing, amazing person. And he had no reason to lie or deceive. That's the way God is. God really is an energy, an intelligence. People say there isn't. Go ahead, say that. Because once you get into these higher realms and you get higher and higher and higher, you'll realize it really is so. And it's like whatever you choose to open your heart, whatever you choose to do, that's your journey. Like I was telling Cindy, all of us, cultures, races, we all have things. I came into the world as a native in the Arctic, and there's things in the native society that we can heal and change. I really pray all our communities come together and really bring that through. And I prayed that for over 30 years in sun dances, sweat lodges, all kinds of ceremonies. I sat with elders. Sometimes they would tell me, you need to pray for your community. You need to pray for your people. And I would sit there in a ceremony and that's all I would do is pray for them. And they'd say, oh, the angels asked you to do this. And I would do it. And I want to see these changes. I want to see these good things. And I really believe in it all. And I believe inside everybody, they've got this God spark, genius, creator, God, whatever it is you believe. And it knows everything. And you have to accept your child spirit. It's not ugly. It's not a little rag doll you throw into a corner, you cover it with a dirty blanket, or you put in a garbage dump. You don't get rid of your oversoul. You don't get rid of your child spirit. You don't get rid of your ego. If that's what you were taught by the New Age, stop it. It is a very, very beautiful thing. And it is very, very powerful and very intelligent. And this is where we need to be kind and compassionate and do things in a kind and gentle way, because the child spirit was bullied as a child. It doesn't need you to do that. It doesn't need to be bossed around. It knows where everything is. It knows everything. It knows why you're here on the earth. It knows every kind of thing. It has every ability. And it can tap you into things. It can guide you places. It can do so many wonderful things. But you need to find the beauty, and you need to clean it up, and you need to let it live inside your heart. And you need to protect it. You got to start stomping it into the ground and treating it like trash. Because I did. When I went down to Skid Row in Edmonton and I tried to find somebody to beat and kill me down there, I was lower than dirt. I was lower than a dog or a cat, and I deserved to be kicked into the ground. So I went there and I made sure it happened. And I'd wake up and go, God, why am I still here? And what I'm talking is, I want you people to heal. Stop being ashamed. Look at yourself. Why are you doing all of this? What do you really deserve? Where do you really need to be? What is God showing you? Where you're being guided? You don't have to accept it. You can tell God to light hot coals and do what he wants with them. But God really loves us. And he tries every way. Like me and Cindy were talking, and I said there's psychics, there's channelers, there's healers in that, and they get shown things. And sometimes God wants them to share this with you, because God wants you to know these are the wonderful things coming. That's why they give you dreams. That's why all these things go on. But people don't want to honor it and manifest it. Oh God, you don't know anything. He's billions and billions and billions of years old. He heals planets. He creates planets, suns, galaxies, universes, everything. And you're telling him he doesn't know that, oh yeah, in my dream, that's all wrong. Really? Wow. Maybe you need to manifest that and see what's on the other side and really find out if it's truly happy before you destroy yourself and all kinds of other things. These are things that, like I say, we really got to think about. And this is where we go inside and we recognize the truth. Because in the end, like I say, we're all going to just face ourselves. God doesn't punish us. When we're up there, we're going to look at everything and we're going to know and we're going to reincarnate. People say, oh, I'm done with this earth. I'm not coming back here anymore. I'm like, oh yeah. You're coming back for a lot more than you think. It always amazes me when these new agers tell me all this stuff. And like they rewrite all of creation. They create like it's like the 10 Commandments in the Bible. They all of a sudden decided those 10 Commandments are no good, so they rewrote all the 10 Commandments now. Whatever they are, I don't know. But I ain't interested in reading them or following or understanding them. And that's where things get altered and changed.
You want to do this much?
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone that's new on here, you're going to do a prayer and smudge, and for you to invite in the energy. You can like smudge on your end if that's what you want to do. You can just close your eyes and drift with the prayer, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not really here.
Yeah. I believe because we have many, many, many lifetimes, burning certain kinds of things activates spirits and angels, even from other cultures. So say if you bought sandalwood and you decided to burn that, then that's going to trigger spirits, guardians, helpers that are connected with the sandalwood. And you chose to burn that. You can get 50 different kinds of incense, and there's lots of different ones from around the world. And every time you light one and you choose it randomly and you just light it, it's going to bring in angels. It's going to bring in protection. It's going to bring in something. So I like my blend. I like mixing all these different things from around the world, and I like praying with them. And I like sending the energy out with all the angels, with God's blessing, light, healing whatever is there, While I'm praying, you can decide to add your own stuff, do what you need to. Other than that, you can just sit and allow the words to come through, see what it activates in you, what it may help, and just know that the Creator, the angels, all these spirits are there to fill your home and your future, because they're trying to help you to get into the future, trying to help you to have all those things you need and not to stress and worry. And this is where you start really trusting on these things. And like I say, there's people around you that maybe an angel will come to you knowing tomorrow you're going to go be around this person. So an angel might come and attach to you, and you're going to deliver it to a person. You're going to go and see them, and they're going to receive a blessing. And this is where these things are conscious and intelligent. And using this and really allowing it to be the biggest. So if everybody's about ready. Okay. So in the natives, one of the things is the first thing when you light smudge, you always wash your hands and your arms because you touch things all the time. Things grab on, we work with energy, and we go all over the place, and we touch something and things transfer. So when you're doing ceremony, you'll always see it. The smoke is the same as water, like showering. And once it's clean, and then you just ask to cleanse your mind, so smoke just runs through your mind. You want clear thoughts, you want really, really good things. When you clear your ears to hear the angels, gods, whatever it is that guides and helps you. You cleanse your third eye, you cleanse your eyes because you use your human eyes to see, but you also want your third eye purified. You breathe in the smoke, goes through your body into your blood, every cell. Anything that may be in there, because the smoke is going everywhere. You invite it in for the healing, then you wash your aura, you wash your energy. If there's anything there, you want it all removed and taken. And you ask God to bless your heart, because your heart only knows God, and it's been hurt, it's been harmed. And you don't want any bitterness and anger in there. You don't want to be hurting other people. So you really, really ask your heart to be healed. And by doing that, somewhere the universe will help with that. So call in the Creator, the Central Sun, the Great Mystery, God. And we ask that energy to come through our Sun. Blessing our Sun, blessing all the beings, energy in that is there with the Sun. We ask it to come into this universe to bless all worlds, energies, spirits, all things, whatever it is that they need from God, it comes through. And it goes out everywhere. Then we call it to the Earth Mother. We ask the Earth Mother to be blessed, to receive her energy, what she's going through in this purifying times. All the things she needs to help her children, the four-leg, two-leg, wing ones, free ones, feather ones, standing people, rock people, sky people, water people. And she supports them all, so she needs a lot of energy. So asking this blessing on the Earth Mother. Ask that energy to come down into your home, your car, your job, your business, wherever you are sitting. Ask it to come in and fill everything. And if there's people around you, ask that they be put in a protection. Maybe they're not ready for this energy yet. Maybe it frightens them. Maybe they don't understand this. So ask them to be surrounded in love. And they're angels, and that will protect them. So they're not harmed, they're not made scared. And when they're ready, they will accept and want this to come through for themselves. It will change them if they want it. And then ask that energy to come down through your etheric, down through your auric, down into your chakras and your body, down through you, into your mind. And ask it to open up all those little eyes and little doors that are in your mind. To really, really see and know, but also to have peace. To really, really use your dreams to create joy and happiness. To look into the future and really, really create that. Because there's many, many things we created. And this is where I always say, Thank God for all the amazing, wonderful things that are coming into your life that you do not see or understand right now. But when it comes, you will be happy, you will be blessed, you will have all these good things. So thank the Creator for these kinds of things. Allow yourself to receive peace, joy, gratitude, love, blessings, and all these things are internal. And that means all your cells, your organs, your bones, your auric, your etheric, your chakras. There's an energy that comes in. Joy is one of the biggest ones. It's always in there. But our minds are so programmed to look for negative, to look for this and that, we forget what joy is. And sometimes the only time we have joy is when we're around people, or we're going, saying, out to a comedy place, or we're going to a movie, or we're going and sitting with some friends and we're laughing. But then we forget it's inside us. And we can just sit there and feel so happy, so full, so loved, so beautiful, so alive. And there's many, many virtues. And you can ask for them, and God will bring them in and fill you. Maybe one of these days I'll sit down and I'll write out a really, really big list of virtues and things like that. So people can think about them and go, wow, maybe I need to ask for this. Because the Creator is always waiting and wanting to hear from His children. What do you need? What do you want? And He's there trying to bless you with the energies to manifest and create. He's not going to tell you if you're wrong or you're right. That's where you carry the energy, and whatever comes to you, that's yours. And remember, it's yours to correct or not correct. That's yours to do. And ask the Creator to go down into your third eye, removing filters, energy, blocks, whatever is there, to clean it all up. And if you have done things that are harmful, because you don't know how you've destroyed a person's mind, heart, other things, and sometimes sit down and talk to the Creator. Let the Creator know. Like I say, we're all responsible in some way for something, and we're not all perfect angels. We're here to learn as human beings. So ask for the filters, the ancestral stuff, the energy, superstition, Christianity, whatever seals and fears are there to be removed. When you were a child, what scared you that made you want to shut your third eye? Because maybe you saw something in your mom. Maybe you saw something in your dad. Maybe you saw something in your uncles or your brothers or your sisters. Or maybe you were dragged into a crazy church and you were staring at the preacher and you saw him turn into all kinds of crazy things and you knew he was lying. And that scared you. So you sealed up your third eye. Ask the universe. Say, I want that to open back up. If I'm meant to use that to help the world and myself, then I want it cleaned up. I want to know how to use it right. I want to be a seer. I want to be a healer. I want to use this to help people. If there's somebody on the other side of the earth that I need to see things and I'm supposed to do a healing through the computer, I want to be able to do that. And I'm asking forgiveness because I didn't understand that I shut it. I sealed all these things in it. I put these filters, these fears, these superstitions, these distortions in there. And I would really appreciate my angels, my guides, my spirits, my ancestors, whatever it is, to clean it all up, to connect me with the Earth Mother and Creator, to see, to understand, to know what's going to go on. Where should I be? What should I be doing? Who's my spiritual family? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And allow the Creator to come in and start helping. Do it in a kind and gentle way. Don't try to be every angel, healer, guide, and everything tomorrow, because you're can't handle it. Start very slow, gently. Really learn how to look at people. And don't say, well, when I'm around my mother, I don't want to see her. When I'm around my dad, I don't want to see him. Because then you're just telling the universe to keep your third eye closed. When you're around your children, when you're around your husband, when you're around your friends or anything, and you say you don't want to see them, and you're basically telling the universe to keep your third eye closed. It's no use opening it because you don't want to see. If you want to be a healer, you have to have it open, and you can't have any kinds of conditions on it. Because whatever you see, you have to learn and understand, and then you have to use it. There's angels, spirit guides, healers, helpers, and like I say, there's many other things there. And this is what you have to understand. This is the way it works. And if you don't want it that way, that's okay. Like I say, that's your choice. Ask this energy to go down into your throat chakra, opening the throat chakra, clearing, healing, releasing all of the different things that are there, especially shame and guilt, especially lies and deceit and other things that sometimes are sitting in there. Sometimes it's through ancestors, sometimes it's through spirits, sometimes it's through the earth, sometimes it's other kinds of things, sometimes it's projections from people. And we don't realize it's not our energy, but it tricks us into doing things. Ask if it's not yours for it all to get cleaned up and removed. Have it cleaned up, taken away. Ask God to see you, through you, speak through you, hear through you. And then you're always in the right, doing things, you're always channeling, everything is coming to you, the right people, everything. And the universe knows what all of this is. And so allow for that. Drop into your higher heart, ask it to get cleansed, so the knowledge of Creator comes through even stronger. Allow it to fill your space. Allow that truth into your higher heart, because it knows everything 5 minutes before your brain. Let it come into you and start realizing the biggest journey that is ever on this earth is from your brain down into your heart center and then back up into your mind. Because that is the biggest journey, and it is the truth. Drop into your heart chakra, ask it to be a sacred temple filled with prayers, blessings, energies, guides, teachers, healers, helpers, all kinds of things, blessings for yourself and others, energies that need to flow into the earth, other dimensions, to the sun, the moon, the stars, to other worlds and galaxies. You don't know what God wants to send through you, so why limit it? Why don't you become a sacred temple and just allow God to really do magic through you? And allow people to see and understand that they can all be the same. Drop down into your solar plex and ask to release all the confused filters that you've taken on since you were a child. All the different things. You wanted to be a movie star, you wanted to be a rock star, you wanted to be a doctor, you wanted to be a nurse, you wanted to be grandma, grandpa, you wanted to be mom and dad, you wanted to be all kinds of things. And there's energies in there, because some of it you absorb from people and they're not yours. But you identify it because as a child that's what you thought and believed. Ask for it all to get cleaned out. And if you gave energy to grandma, grandpa, and everybody else, ask for your energy back. It's yours, it should be inside you. Let all of their stuff go back to them. You don't need to save them, you don't need to fix them, they're perfect. Until they decide maybe they're not perfect. They see you changing, maybe they'll decide to do the same thing too. So allow all these cords, all these different things to disconnect, release. Allow the universe to clean it all up and call back all your soul pieces. Don't just say that, really, really think about this. When you were in Egypt, you have lifetimes. When you were in Peru, or you're in Tibet, many, many other places and times. You were a high priest. You were maybe a Buddhist monk over and over in Tibet. Maybe you left energy there thinking you're going to reincarnate again. And that's your energy and it belongs to you. You have angels and guides around you that understand. They know how to find these things. They can see all these different things and they can put it back in you. They have to clean it all up and put it back in you. So these energies realize they belong inside you so you can use them. So give permission for that and let all these wonderful spirits around you to do that. Have them do it for your family, for your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, whoever needs it. People are lost on drugs, on alcohol somewhere. Maybe their souls, they've lost too many pieces of their souls. Maybe you can pray that they get all of this back. Maybe it's going to sober them up and change them. Because maybe they had their hearts destroyed. Maybe they had their souls destroyed. And that's why they're drunk. They don't want to live. They've been broken. They're scarred. They can't find love in themselves. They don't understand all of this. And maybe you need to say that prayer for somebody else, that they can have everything returned to them. They can heal and change. It's up to you. It's your choice. Drop down into your sacral and ask to heal out of the 3D energy. We've been in 3D energy for thousands of years. Now we want to bring in the future energy. We talk about the age of Aquarius. We talk about the fifth dimension. We talk about all these things, but we never ever say we need God to give us that energy. We need new angels. We need new spirits. We need new teachers to help us understand how to work with this energy. We need to work with new ultraviolet lights, because the energy on this planet is going to change. It's going to be new. And if we want to hold on to our old chakras, then we're not going to be absorbing this new energy. That has to change in our DNA, in our cells, our bones, our organs, our minds, our beliefs. And we got to carry this new energy, new ultraviolet lights, all kinds of other things. And the Creator knows who and what you are, knows your gifts and abilities, knows where you're going to live, what you're going to do, what your purpose on earth is. You need that to come into you with all these wonderful beings. But you also need to release all the old ones around you, even your ancestors, your family, your friends. You need to release it to receive new things to step into. Once you have all of that, maybe you can reach out and teach other people, show them and help them understand this. Drop down in your base chakra, really look at your fears, really look at your angers, really look at your own lies, deceits, deceptions, whatever it is. Be honest about it, because the universe is not taking it from you unless you really want it gone. Because you will keep pulling it back and creating and manifesting it until you're done. God does not take anything from anybody that they're not finished with. And that's why you can't blame people, and you can't blame angels, and you can't blame God, because we are all the ones manifesting and creating. And ask the Earth Mother and the Creator to take these energies, drop into the Earth Mother. She knows what to do. The Creator knows what to do. They know how. We don't need to tell them. Call your Earth Mother up into your home, to bless your home, to bless your life, bless your family, bless your job, bless your business. She gives you all the energy to do this. When you're manifesting, you need money, you need clients, you need all of this. Remember, it's the Earth Mother giving it to you. The Creator sent it into this world for you to use. And sometimes you need to thank the Earth Mother. Sometimes you need to honor and recognize the Earth Mother. So let her into your home. Let her fill up the whole space. Let her ride with you in the car. Let her be with you at work. Let her show you things in your third eye about the future, about children, about what we're going to manifest and create, what we're going to do, what we're going to be living in that's changing this planet. She'll show it to you. There's got no reason to lie or deceive you. Neither does the Creator. Ask them to do this. Call in the Earth Mother's children. Honor and respect them, because they are a big part of this life in this world. Call in the four-legged, the two-legged, the winged ones, the furry ones, the feather ones, standing people, the rock people, the four-legged, the two-legged, and call in the water spirits, the rock people, the standing people, the roots, the berries, the herbs, the medicines. Call in the sun, the moon, and the stars, because they are all energies that are always there supporting us, and they all have something to give and teach. They're all supporting us with God's love, trying to help us to navigate into the future. Give them permission. Find out what is your animal spirit. Find out all kinds of things. They'll reveal it. Call in the spirits of east, south, west, and north. Call in your star brothers and sisters, all the avatars, gurus, teachers, masters, healers, helpers, angels, guides, whatever it is you believe, that are light, love, and goodness. And call in your future self. Call in your future angels. They really understand who you are, and they can remove many silly barriers and step you into all these things and show you how amazing and wonderful your future is. It's their right to help you to see this. calling the atoms, electrons, protons, helium, hydrogen, ribosomes, many, many other ancient energies, and have them come in and teach you things. Because once they look into your heart and know you will never use any of that energy wrong to hurt anyone, they will teach you things. There is mana, there is prana, there's many other kinds of things. There's a lot of knowledge all around us, but we're unconscious to it. This is where Creator can bless you to really connect on all levels with all these things. We thank Creator for tonight, for every wonderful thing. And I am so truly happy to all of you, and I'd just like to say I love you all. I thank you for your prayers. I don't often tell people I love them, because when I said that in the past, I would get bad things, bad experiences. So most of my life, it was some words that I really feared. But I'm learning more and more and more it's okay for me to say that, and I won't get hurt. And I can open my heart and really mean it. So I send that out to you, and I truly want blessings of every kind of good thing in your dreams, your wake time, and whatever is going to guide you, and we can stand in the future and celebrate one day. Hey, hey.
Should we just end it there? I'm just kidding. There's like 300 people. That
Oh,
was
wow. Beautiful.
Amazing, Joe. Amazing.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. Thank you for joining us with the prayer. I really love the Hopi, because the Hopi have been sharing their prophecies. They've been trying to wake up the world since 1940. Actually, since World War I. They've been sharing their prophecies, and they put out books, and they put out YouTubes. They've had many, many teachers go out. They put Frank Binyaka traveled a lot of places on the planet. And there were a lot of other wonderful teachers, and there's still some of them that travel around the world trying to help us to know where we are in the purifying times. And they go to the governments, and they go places, and they try to be heard, but then they close the doors. And they shared a lot of stuff, like even in World War I, they went to the Prophecy Rock, and they told about all these different things that would go on. And they weren't warned about the atomic bomb. And they went to the government places, and they say, this is a thing that's going to go on. Trying to see if they could bring it through and it would change something. But nobody wanted to hear them. And they're still there holding all ceremonies. They're still bringing through prophecies and knowledge. And they're still trying to help understand people to understand the purifying times. Because what it means is it's like gold. If you take gold, there's a lot of other elements in it. Just, other than gold, there's even rock and other things sometimes, and you smelt it. So you put all kinds of things in there, and you heat it up really, really lots. So you can just have the gold come out, and then whatever is not good will come off, and they put some chemicals in there that'll bind into a slag. So that slag, you get rid of all of these impurities, so you just have the gold. Purifying times is that, because God wants to get rid of all the negative people. Anything that doesn't serve the light, any deceit, anything. Anybody that doesn't want to work with God, honor their gifts, do right by the planet or anything, doesn't want to learn and grow. And God wants to clean that up. Because in the future, there's going to be people of light, the energy and the gifts. If they were to give all of us the energy of the fifth dimension right now, with so much hate and anger and that, we would probably blow up this world, or we would all destroy one another, because there's so much anger and rage and hatred, it would be devastating. And that's where the universe can really heal and cleanse us. So I really, really love all of these other people in that, and I get very excited when I hear there's people from the Hopi tribe and others. And there's even, the Sioux sometimes, they come on, and different people.
Really take the time to ponder what Joe has said. It's not like something to just in one ear out the other. It's like the way he's teaching, he lives it. This is a lifestyle. It's not just like read a book, close it, put it on the shelf.
Yeah, it's more than words. It's energy that's inside you. And people will feel it. People will know it. Wherever you go, if you say a prayer or anything, people will really, really feel and understand that. And it really, really is true. It's not just the words. There's something inside you. There's God energy. There's particles, there's things, there's angels, and it triggers and it makes things and it changes things. It does so many wonderful things. And I've loved it since I was a little boy. It has made my life very, very hard and difficult because a lot of people didn't understand me. And even today, there's still a lot of challenges. I still get up every day and I just look towards the future. And I'm like, whoever's meant to be there with me, I really hope they make it. But I'm going to keep walking forwards. That's all I can do. And wherever the universe wants me, that's where I'll be. And in the next 3 years, there's a lot of challenges. And this is where you really need to go deep inside and understand your truth. Because a lot of us are going to be tested in different ways. And like I say, eventually this purifying times will be over. And there's a lot of magic from the universe. If you're really trusting in the universe, it's going to be there. It's got your back. If you're here to be 200 years old, 500 years old, then you got to look forwards and you got to create what's being placed in front of you. Because if you want to play games and stay back here, that door is going to close. The universe will take that energy, gifts and everything, and somebody else will take it and move forwards with it. This is where I always say I'm not special. Even with all my gifts, my abilities, all the teachings, knowledge, all the wonderful things I've experienced in life, if I don't fulfill and do this, somewhere I'll be taken and given to somebody. I have no purpose on the earth. I came here to do something and it's my job to do it. It's my job to carry it in my heart, my body, my brain, my soul, and wherever I go to share with it in the biggest way and with love. It's not just words. It's a belief, and it's something that's going to be a reality in the future. And a lot of the elders out there are trying to get this across and they're not being heard. There are other spiritual people. And we can say all we want, but somewhere you're going to go inside and you're going to discover it for yourself. And what do you really, really want? Be honest and truthful about it. And I want to get into the future. There's too many things coming too fast. And if I'm not there doing what I need, I know what's coming. And I know what's going to go on in places and things. And I am praying very, very hard. And if you guys can all say prayers that I get lots of good, clear visions and that would be beautiful. Because I want to see and really, really know. I really want to know where I need to be and how I need to do this. Because I have many, many pieces of the puzzle, but I don't know which direction to go in it. And that's where I was lost on the sea today. And I was looking around in the fog and I was like, okay, God, you gave me a lot of stuff. But right now I'm way out in the middle of the ocean again, trusting in you. I can't see anything around me. And at certain points and times, I don't know if I'm supposed to go this direction, that, or I'm supposed to open this door, that door. But there's a bunch of things, and like I say, it involves everybody on the planet, because everybody's choices impact where I go and what I do in the future. And some people are meant to be there, and some people won't be there. And if they're not going to be there, then that reality is changing, and I need to be in a different place doing something different. And this is where I really think everything out. I don't just jump today and be afraid. I don't just become a rabbit or become a monkey running through the jungle, screeching and yelling and throwing things around. I really go deep inside. And whatever I do, I want it to benefit the world. Because in the end, I want to be in the future and I want to be happy that I did what was right. Whether people wanted to understand it or not, that's, like I say, when we're there, we'll all look back and know what's right. Some people will be 500 years old and they'll be very happy they made this choice. Some people don't want it and they can stay behind. They got lots of other lifetimes to reincarnate. So with that, I'll light this sage. And the guy that was scared from the drug thing, Invite in the spirits. Any angels, guides, spirits, healers, helpers. Get rid of anything that's old, around drugs, around different things, whatever your spirit was and the experience that may have come through. Allow the angels to come in and close up those doors. And sit with yourself and make some choices. Is life precious? Because that's all. When you wake up in the morning and your eyes open, no matter how difficult the day is, your gift is your eyes open. You can make right choices. You can create, manifest all kinds of beautiful things. And that's the beauty of gift of life. And every day the first thing you should say is thank you when you open your eyes, instead of complaining that the world is miserable, or it's cold outside, or it's raining, or you don't have fancy food, or this and that clothes. You can get all of that. You can manifest and create it. But first appreciate life. Because that's all we really have, every breath we take. Call in the Creator again. To really, really get rid of the mischievous ones. To really put all the energy in the right places. All the angels to look at everything. Where did things get distorted? What's going on? And really, really give clarity to everything. Because warring with energy all the time doesn't work. Sometimes it's just sit with it until you learn what it is, and then it'll dissolve and go away. Sometimes we get in energies we don't understand. And this is where we need angels and Creator and that to come in and help us. And that's where we're asking Creator to come in. Fill our homes, fill our dreams, fill our lives. To remove all the things that are of lower vibrations, trying to pull us, trap us, keep us in anything. There's always people and things in our lives that do certain kinds of things. And there's all kinds of spirits in the spirit world hijacking energy and doing all kinds of stuff. And this is where I want to see. I don't want to keep doing this. I want to see everything, and I want to close doors. And I really mean that. By December I want to close all doors that are not a part of the future. And I've been saying that since December, and I'm asking everything of the future and that to come in and reveal it all. And I want everybody to be blessed tonight. I want them to have really big, magical, beautiful dreams. I want the Creator to show them what their gifts are, who they are, why they are, what they're supposed to do in the future, if they're on their path or off their path. They need to see so they can make the right decisions and realize what is in front of them. And wherever your spiritual family, they'll show up. And whatever you need to practice and focus on, it's going to help you to understand and grow in a really good way that you can teach others. Call in the new angels, new avatars, new teachers, new guides, new healers, new energies to fill your body, your home and surroundings. Not to use and abuse and expect to get more and then use and abuse it again. Because at some point that allotment will end and you will get no more. I always pray for people to receive everything. And I pray wonderful things for all. I ask for the rainbow energies to come in, for all the chakras to be downloaded with what everybody needs, healing the back ones, all the old, the past, and to really, really find those beautiful, joyous things that are inside, that are really, absolutely, truly happy. And you can sit inside and be happy all day, wherever you go. And to also honor your angels, guides, spirits, and ancestors. Your ancestors, if there's some interfering, ask them to be put in the past. They're not welcome here or in the future. They've already had their lives, and they have no right bullying you and trying to stop and keep you from being a light and a healer. And for your family and friends to have peace, to find their path and journey, their teachers and guides. To also look inside themselves and see themselves as a beautiful angel, honor their mistakes, own up to the Creator because it's not hidden. And they get to correct it. Call in all these new wonderful things. Thank the Earth Mother and her children, 4 leg, 2 leg, wing ones, free one, feather one, standing people, rock people, sky people, water people. Thank the sun, moon, and stars. Thank all avatars, gurus, teachers, healers, helpers, everything that has helped you for thousands of years in this 3D dimension. Really, really thank them. Give them permission now to move into higher realms as these new things come in to replace that. As you absorb this new energy and become a new creator, to be a part of a very beautiful world in the future. Hey, hey.